difficult, obviously, in an environment like this too. You ever take a step back to kind of take in everything you've built to this point and your coaching staff and team built to this point?
No, we don't think about that stuff. I mean, we're just trying to, we're thinking about our next match and getting better and just doing what we do. I mean, we just, maybe at some point you do, but that's not something, I mean, we don't really worry about that stuff. You know, this team's not worried about anything that happened in previous years, right? They're just doing what they do and just competing hard, and they wrestle pretty dang good. You know, it's a really good team we saw tonight, so proud of them.
Cael, was this a match where just your team just kept applying the pressure? You know, moving forward on the offense all the time, just, you know, pretty much what you want to see against the Iowa team?
I think so. I think you got to go back and kind of think through the matches. But yeah, I think for the most part, I mean, that's just, you know, our style. And you know, we're going to move forward, and we're looking to score points, right? And I think with very few exceptions, that's just kind of the case. So, but yeah, I think you know, we have a lot of little things we can work on, and I think I say it every year, but I mean, Iowa does a really good job of kind of figuring your guys out and scouting them. So they always you can always go back and kind of see, you know, what you can do better, because they're usually very prepared for the matches. So they do a really good job with that stuff. So we can kind of go back and watch these matches and pick up some things we can do better.
This one's for Tyler. Can you just walk us through that moment, the final seconds of your match, hyping up the crowd, the fist pump before the match is even finished, and also just kind of wrestling through the adversity of the blood timeout and everything?
Yeah, I mean, the blood time, that's just what happens in wrestling. You know, things happen. So I wasn't too really worried about that. But I mean, as far as the celebration and that stuff, I mean, I kind of just blacked out. I had no idea what I really did. So just enjoying the moment, and yeah, grateful for the opportunities to go wrestle a team like Iowa. I mean, they're probably my favorite team to wrestle, just because I just like wrestling.
Cael, go ahead, sorry. What went into the decision for Braden not to wrestle tonight? Was that injury related or something else?
Yeah, just a little banged up from a week ago. So, you know, Kurt's, he's a little undersized, obviously, but he's got a huge heart and he's a great wrestler, and you know, he wanted that shot, so we gave it to him. Obviously, that was a tall order, you know, with Ayala. He's obviously really good, and but yeah, Davis was just a little banged up from last week, so we figured it would be in his best interest to kind of let him rest a little bit.
Cael, Coach Brands was displeased that your guys scored first in many of the matches and scored late in most of the matches. Were you pleased with the fight and the effort that carried all the way through to the end?
Yeah, I think our guys wrestled well. I mean, I think we have, you know, a couple of situations that, you know, we can, you know, really learn from and make some improvements. But overall, you know, our guys are consistent. I mean, they like to compete, you know, and I mean, you know, it's kind of the first question is that's just kind of how we wrestle. You know, we're going to move forward and try to create angles and score points, and people know that's what we're going to do, and you know, so that makes it kind of more fun to and a challenge to continue to be able to do that.
Sorry, I was looking over at Nate. Sorry, Tyler. When you're bleeding in a match, what kind of adjustments do you have to make?
Nothing really. I mean, just all wrestling at the end of the day. I mean, kind of take your emotions out of it, especially when you have, I don't know how many people were there, so the adrenaline kind of gets pumping. I didn't even really know how bad or what it really looked like. I just knew there was a little bit of blood. So, you know, it's just part of the sport, and you know, I kind of like it. It's fun. You know, makes you feel alive a little bit.
It's not his eyebrow. A lot of those are stitches. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Tough dude.
Greg, I know you guys, being at towards the tail end, you get to see probably a match of Tyler's, and to see him black out, as he says, and doesn't remember what he did. What's that do for you as a teammate to see that type of response in a win like that?
It doesn't quite do anything for me. I know that doesn't sound great, but I know all 10 guys, all 9 guys, including me, they're gonna do their job and take care of business. So it's part of what's great about being on this team is you don't have to worry about those guys.
Cael, just your thoughts on Shane Van Ness's effort tonight. That was a big match. And he,
Yeah.
he took control there with a big move. Just what you see there, and what do you think it says about him? He had I know he had a loss earlier in the season. How do you think he's bounced back?
Yeah, I thought Shane wrestled great, right? He went out and got that first takedown, then gave up a takedown back, and you're like, hey, this is a great match. I mean, you got two of the best guys in the country scrapping, and then, yeah, Shane just kept kind of pushing forward as has been described, and was just kind of fought through it and looked great. So, yeah, I was really happy with Shane. I mean, he's wrestling really well.
Another question for Tyler. What kind of help did Levi Haynes give you? Because he's wrestled Ja'Cory Teamer before when the stakes were the highest in the NCAA championship. So how did he help you, being that he wrestled him as a former opponent?
I mean, honestly, he didn't really tell me anything. He just told me to go smash him, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. And yeah, I mean, we really don't game plan for guys like that. I feel like, I mean, kind of just take one step at a time. Just try and focus on right now. There's not really like a focus on guys in the future, or I just worry about getting better and having fun.
For Greg or Tyler, what was it like hearing the roar of the crowd and wrestling in front of that packed out BJC?
Sick.
It was cool.
Greg, go ahead.
Oh, it was cool. Yeah. It was cool.
Tyler, anything more than that?
Sick. That's all I got for you.
Cael, for your years now, we've heard you talk a lot about not focusing on wins and losses or the outcomes, but more improvement in the process. Is that a mentality that you had when you were young? What sort of influences have you had in your life that made you adopt that? Is it something you used during your competitive career?
Yeah, I think all of my coaches, my father was my coach growing up, and my high school coach, and it was never about winning or losing. It was about fighting, right? I mean, you don't have to tell somebody you want to win. I mean, everybody wants to win. And my coach Bobby Douglas, same thing. He never talked about winning. It was just getting better and wrestling and doing what you do. So yeah, I just was fortunate to come up with some great coaches and some great men, and it always worked for me. And different things, a little different tweaks and spins on the approach, but yeah, I mean, there's a higher standard than winning and losing, right? And that's a pretty low standard. I mean, we can it's more performance, and our effort and our attitude is always going to be a higher standard than win or lose.
This is for everybody. Do you guys believe in making statements? I mean, can you make a statement as a wrestling team when you do a match like this?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I feel like we kind of already knew, or I felt like this team was pretty special, and so I think when you go against the number 2 team in the country and you kind of handle them pretty well, I felt like as far as not even a scoreboard, but as far as the effort and just attitude, I felt like everyone was pumped up, and everyone was just having fun. I mean, I feel like the bigger the matches, the more fun we end up having. And the more free I feel like I get, and I feel like I feed off that with the guys on the team.
All you.
I don't think so. Just because, I mean, each time you wrestle somebody, the next day it's a new day, new person, new team. Nothing really transfers over. So, I mean, I just think you try to keep making the same statement week in and week out. I don't know if it carries on though.
Do I have to answer that question also? These guys did a good job.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we just we're just trying to be at our best in the big moments, right? I mean, that's a statement that is just of consistency. I mean, consistency is kind of the name of the game. But as coaches, I'm sure as wrestlers, you're always thinking about the next one and the next one and the next one, right? I mean, and not even just the next match. You're thinking about next year and the next year, and we're going to see the same team a couple more times. So it's just you're always you enjoy it, you have fun with what you're doing, but it's more fun to kind of just be challenging yourself to try to get better all the time, right?
We good? Anybody else have one? We got one more. Thank you.
Coach, what were your thoughts on Iowa's strategy to wrestle Angelo Ferrari as opposed to their regular starter and Gabe Arnold?
I don't think that was really a surprise. We kind of figured that might be the case, just based on stuff that had happened and things that were said, right? I mean, but yeah, I think Carter's, he would have been ready for, either opponent. Obviously, they have two great options there. They're both really good wrestlers. So.
Okay. All right, folks, thank you.
Cool.